calling to order the Ellettsville Town Council for Monday, May 23rd, 2022. And Mike, who's going to do the pledge first? Yeah, I will pledge first.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jimmy?
Thank you. Our Heavenly Father, we come before you this glorious, wonderful day you supplied for us. We thank you so much for that. We thank you so much for this little town of Ellettsville. We thank you for our leaders. We ask you to give them guidance in our meeting tonight and just be with us throughout the work week. Lead and guide our conversation, lead and guide our thoughts. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Would you give me a minute, William, to get the recording started?
Sandy's asked for a minute to get the recording started on Zoom, then we'll resume.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's on the computer.
Yeah.
Thank you for your patience.
Is it fixed? You sure?
Well, it's recording to that computer instead of the cloud.
Okay, we good? Okay. Next on our agenda is roll call.
William Ellis,
Here.
Trevor Sager,
Here.
Scott Oldham,
Here.
Pamela Samples. Here. Dan Swafford.
Here.
All right. Approval of minutes of the regular meeting, May 9th, 2022. Council action.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Roll call. Or not roll call, but Sandy.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Trevor Sager.
Yes.
Dan Swafford.
Yes.
Pamela Samples.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Action to pay accounts payable, voucher, and payroll.
So moved.
Second.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Trevor Sager.
Yes.
Dan Swafford.
Yes.
Pamela Samples.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Pam, I believe you have something?
Okay.
Let people know what you're doing first.
Well, I'll tell them up there.
Okay. You make sure you're speaking. case this wasn't captured in the cats, we presented Mike Corman from the town of Ellettsville plaque honoring his service for the town of Ellettsville. We didn't give him his walking papers. He did that on his own.
We'll do the other one.
Thank you very much.
Since we're doing
No, we didn't. Privilege.
it. Okay.
Okay, next on the agenda, appointment to the Emergency Management Advisory Board. Kevin, I think that's,
I'll start with that.
Yeah.
The Emergency Management Advisory Council, even though it says Advisory Council, it does have statutory requirements to oversee the operation of the Monroe County Emergency Management. Under Indiana law, the town has a appointment on that board. And I choose not to continue on as I know I'm representing the fire chief. And Kevin has agreed to fill that role if you choose so. He took the action of the council for him to be on that council.
okay. Any public comment? Council action?
I would move we appoint Kevin Patton to the Emergency Management Advisory Council.
Second.
All right. Did we lose Dan?
Lost
We
everybody.
lost everybody.
Okay, yeah. I think they're there, they're just... Next one. Yep, that one.
Here they are.
And they're back. Okay, Sandy?
Okay, I got the motion. Who made the second?
Give it to Pam.
William Ellis?
Yes.
Scott Oldham?
Yes.
Trevor Sager?
Yes.
Dan Swafford?
Yes.
Pamela Samples?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
All right, opening bids for the road resurfacing, community crossings grant. Is that you, Denise, or? Darla, okay.
We've received 2 bids for the resurfacing of various streets in Ellettsville, and the first one is from E&B Paving, Inc.
This time is always like Christmas.
It's kind of reverse Christmas. This is what it's going to cost.
That's true, yeah, well, we have to pay.
The bid is for $388,600. The second one is from Milestone Contractors. $443,000. So I would ask that the council take them under advisement to give Denise Line and the other individuals involved to review the bids to make sure they meet specifications.
Do we need council action for that, or?
Yes, I would
Okay.
make a motion to take them under advisement, please.
So moved.
Second.
Sandy?
Oh, that was a motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I already got one. So, who made the motion?
I did.
And who seconded?
I did.
William Ellis?
Yes.
Scott Oldham?
Yes.
Trevor Sager?
Yes.
Dan Swafford?
Yes.
Pamela Samples?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next is Resolution 05-2022 to adopt a community investment plan detailing the use of the funding provided under the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, to support the town of Ellettsville's recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic.
So this is an ordinance or a resolution, I'm sorry, that Sandy and I both worked on. And so you have a copy of the proposed resolution in front of you. At the last meeting, there was some questions or concern about some of the language in the funding plan. So I had sent an email to Baker Tilly asking them to make some changes. I have not heard back from them, but I don't think, in reviewing some of the other plans or resolutions that have been submitted by other municipalities, I don't think our changes should cause a problem. But in any event, the proposal was on page 1 under table of contents, where it says promoting equitable outcomes. I proposed to Baker Tilly that they change that to promoting fair and impartial outcomes. Then if we go to page 5, under promoting equitable outcomes, again, the language to match the table of contents would say promoting fair and impartial outcomes, and the paragraph would read, the town is economically diverse and decision makers are committed to implementing best practices and evidence-based projects to support a robust recovery. The town's framework incorporates fair, just, and even-handed considerations to ensure recovery funds for public health, economic recovery, and infrastructure projects address the needs of the town's low to moderate income and minority residents.
Any public discussion? Council? I'm good with the changes because I think I was the one that had the issue with it, and I'm very good with these changes. So we need a resolution. Is that what this would need in favor? What do we need, what action do we need to do on
A
this?
motion to pass Resolution 05-2022.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 05-2022 to adopt a community investment plan detailing the use of funding provided under the American Rescue Plan Act to support the town of Ellettsville's recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Second.
Okay.
William Ellis?
Yes.
Scott Oldham?
Yes.
Trevor Sager?
Yes.
Dan Swafford?
Yes.
Pamela Samples?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, ordinance is on first reading. Ordinance 2022-05 to amend ordinance 2021-22 salary ordinance. Who has this?
Well, the first part of it is just to fix the salary for the new chief. The new chief coming in and the fire department has a few more certifications, so it was just not too big an adjustment that we would have been outside the salary ordinance, so.
Well, can I make comment on this real quick?
Yeah.
And I guess a quick question. Would it be an imposition for you to hold this for 2 weeks while we reset something? No. I'd make a motion, we table this ordinance with an anticipation of a reset with some of the wording on it for one position.
If you do that, then when you do pass it, I'm not authorized to pay him his pay until you pass this, so he'll,
He'd get his normal pay, he just wouldn't get his certifications, right?
yeah, he would get the existing chief's pay, and I can make up the difference later.
Is that all right, Kevin? 2 weeks. So yeah, I would move that we table this pending some modifications to this ordinance.
I'll second.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Pamela Samples.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. No ordinances on second reading. I don't see any old business. Flood report. Anything to report, Nick?
No, we're still waiting for DNR permits.
Okay. I will say I had heard, somebody had mentioned they had heard the permit process was done. I have not heard any official confirmation of that. Have you? Isn't that?
It's not done.
Okay.
We just got an update, and they recently, and all they said was they were still waiting for the permits. I would say one thing about the flood report. I think there was a couple of people at the Envision Ellettsville gathering the other night, and there's some artist renderings of what might take place in the future, and they were done by the Taylor Group. And so I think a couple people's house it showed that it would now be in a pond, and that's not going to happen. And so there was no intent to say this is what we're going to do, and the people that actually live there now will have no say in it. It was just an artist rendering kind of depicting what could be. And so same thing with the north side of Ellettsville as far as residential future there. There's no intent currently to try to annex properties that are there as county residents now. It's just there are some virgin territories there that would be open to be annexed, and maybe that's where some future housing would be. So it was Well, for what it's worth, it's just, there was no aggressive intent in either
Gotcha.
renderings. It's just a concept.
The rendering is just kind of like not even an outline of any official outline, just kind of,
It was a view of the town in its entirety. It was not meant to pinpoint where we're going to actually work.
okay. All right. Envision Ellettsville update, Dan?
Dan Rary, representing Envision Ellettsville. As you all know, we had our celebration last week, and I think it was a great success. I want to thank everyone involved. I want to thank the town for allowing us to have it here. I want to thank everybody involved here and the town council for all their support. I think we had a sign-in sheet, but a lot of people milled in and out and didn't sign. I don't have a number, but looked like 200 or 300 people to me. A lot of folks. Everybody had a good time. There was a wide variety of people. I want to thank everybody that took the survey, the general public for showing up. So now we're kind of off to the races to try to implement all this, and that'll be the next step. So again, I want to thank everybody for their help and their cooperation, and especially the town for providing us with this facility.
And thank you. And
Thank you.
just so you know, this was just the start of end of one phase and start of another. Wouldn't you agree, Dan?
Yes.
So everybody keep that intensity on what the vision you want to see for Ellettsville. All right, new business. Addendum to the lease between the town of Ellettsville and the Richland Township to allow HealthNet to use Marcy Lane Lewis Park. Is this you, Darla?
I can address it. This was discussed briefly at a council meeting 2 or 3 meetings ago, but essentially, the Richland Township trustee has made arrangements with HealthNet to have a mobile medical service provider come to one of the town's parks, and it's my understanding that the township trustee has had a conversation with Jimmy Durnall about the particulars, dates and times and days of the week and that kind of thing. And so what is before the council tonight is just an addendum to the lease agreement between Richland Township and the town with regard to the parks.
Okay.
Darling, my only concern is there's just not a lot of detail in there on what they want.
Well, that's true, but I thought, if I didn't misunderstand, I thought at one of the meetings that which the council talked about this, I think Scott Oldham had suggested that Jimmy Durnall work out the details, and then if, the street department or whatever needed to get involved, they could. So,
Well, I just need the dates, and then we can put them on the calendar so we make sure we don't rent the shelter out at that time.
I think the intent was to have it during the week.
It's not all during the week, it's not on the
On
weekend.
business days, not on the weekends.
We never.
And then not in the evening.
We have a few times for
It's
company
like,
parties.
it's
but
like
not
9
enough.
to 12, I think, or something, it's not a long period
Yeah,
of time.
it's weekday mornings, as I recall.
Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
there should be no problem. Kip and I can work everything out, what they need.
Is that something that needs a vote, Darla?
Yes, there needs to be a motion to approve the addendum to the lease agreement.
Okay. Any public comment on this? Council action?
I'd move we approve the addendum to the lease between the town of Ellettsville and Richland Township to allow for HealthNet to use Marcy Jane Lewis Park.
Second.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Harry Sager,
Yes.
Dan Swanson,
Yes.
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right. Appointing a new full-time firefighter to replace Brandon Monday, appointing of part-time firefighters.
Okay, I've got a couple things here. The first one is replacing a full-time firefighter. Firefighter Brandon Monday left us to go seek another profession, and we posted it internally, and one of our part-time firefighters was the one that the Board of Officers chose, and that is Ron McManus. So I'm bringing you the name today of Ron McManus to be hired or transfer from part-time to full-time.
Okay. Any public comment?
It's a hiring decision.
No?
Hiring decision.
Oh, you're right. So, council action?
I'll make a motion to approve Ron McManus, appointing him to a full-time firefighter from a part-time firefighter.
Second.
Stephen Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
motion carries.
Well, thank you. I've got two parts with the part-time. The first one is I'd like to bring on two people for part-time status. After interviewing by the Board of Officers, we recommend to the council that Robert Bell and Shane Jarrett be appointed as a part-time firefighter for the fire department.
And what was Shane's last name?
Jarrett, Jarrett.
Okay.
Robert Bell, Shane Jarrett.
Okay. Council action?
I'll make a motion to approve Robert Bell and Shane Barrett, sorry about that, Shane Jarrett to part-time firefighter.
Second.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. The last one I have is a transfer from from full-time to part-time. Lieutenant Mark White has given us notice to resign his paid full-time position with the town of Ellettsville to seek employment in another profession. But he still wants to stay with us part-time. Both Kevin Patton and I strongly recommend this, and is Mark White being approved to go from full-time to part-time.
All right. Council action?
Okay, make a motion to move Mark White from full-time to part-time.
Second.
All right.
William Ellis,
Yes.
Scott Oldham,
Yes.
Trevor Sager,
Yes.
Dan Swafford,
Yes.
Pamela Samples,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you.
Mike, just curious, in this case, if this wasn't passed, would we force the guy to work for us then? Is that how that works?
Change of status requires your approval. So.
All right. Tax abatement compliance recommendation. For Keith, who has this?
We have 3 tax abatements, and they're listed on the letter there that I need you to sign. The KP Distributors LLC, that's for their personal property. The Indiana WEH LLC is for the real estate. And then the Ellettsville Senior Citizen Housing is for the improvements they've made. And they have to file an annual statement with the auditor's office, and they ask that we just confirm that we agree with their statement of compliance, and I included a copy of each of those for you.
So WEH is the holding company which holds the property for KE.
Yeah.
And so was the amount paid to the fire department last year like it was supposed to be?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Sandy, on the Ellettsville Senior Citizen Housing, I see the estimates on the SB1 are mostly zeros, and they're estimating to add 1.5 additional employees at a salary of $75,000. So am I to say that none of this has happened yet because those other things were already existing?
Well, I don't think that project is complete, but it is soon to be.
Okay.
That's the one we abated the water.
Right.
About 4 to 6 weeks out, probably.
Okay.
A couple of buildings are done, but there's 3 others that have to be finished.
So next year, we should probably really analyze the compliance more next year since I know they've had delays.
Yeah.
overall, it looks like companies that are getting the abatements are doing very well compared to what they estimated. So again, Darla, how is this motion that we approve the compliance? How does this?
I would do, since it's three separate issues, really, I mean, theoretically, they could, KHE could comply with personal property and the other one wouldn't be approved, but three separate motions for each form. So one for KHE to approve their compliance with statement of benefits, one for Indiana WEH LLC, and one for Richland Senior Housing.
Okay.
Now, I did combine them all on the letter for their signatures. Is that still acceptable?
Yeah, that's fine, but I just think for the record, a separate motion for each of them would be appropriate.
Okay, so I guess we need council action on KeyHe Distributors would be the first one, or?
Would move that we approve the tax abatement letter of compliance for KHE.
Second.
William Ellis?
Yes.
Scott Oldham?
Yes.
Trevor Sager?
Yes.
Dan Swafford?
Yes.
Emma Samples?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, next would be Indiana WEH LLC.
Would move that we approve the letter of compliance for tax abatement purposes for Indiana WEH LLC.
Second.
William Ellis?
Yes.
Scott Oldham?
Yes.
Trevor Sager?
Yes.
Dan Swafford?
Yes.
Emma Samples?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And finally, Ellettsville Senior Citizen Housing LLC.
Would move that we approve the tax abatement compliance recommendation letter for Ellettsville Senior Citizens Housing LLC.
Second.
William Ellis?
Yes.
Scott Oldham?
Yes.
Trevor Sager?
Yes.
Dan Swafford?
Yes.
Emma Samples?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Next, we go to privilege of the floor. Does anybody have anything to say?
Good evening. Chris Klaus, Ellettsville Fire Department. Tonight we gather here to honor retiring Fire Chief Mike Corman. I just have a few things to say before we actually give him the award. Tonight I'm here representing the IAFF Local 586 Ellettsville District, honoring Chief Corman for his service to the community. The Firefighters Act is a symbol of bravery and strength and has long been used in the fire service. However, it also means much more. The symbolism is very forward, but what is underneath is truly what matters the most. It's the person that is selfless, spending countless hours to learn the profession, spending time away from family to protect strangers. It's the caring, kind-hearted individual who sometimes just holds someone's hand that has lost everything or experienced the worst day of their lives. Chief Corman has filled these roles and served the town of Ellettsville for 43 years. He joined the volunteer department March 1st, 1979. He was hired by the town May 11th, 1984 as a career firefighter. He has served several roles at this department and finally serving as fire chief from August 2013 until his retirement. Chief Corman plans to remain on as a firefighter with the Volunteer Fire Department Incorporated. He will still be serving as a firefighter, however, it will be out of his love for this great community. Chief Corman, I wish you all the best in the future and continued success. Enjoy your family and your friends, and spoil the grandkids. If you wouldn't mind standing up here.
Mike, I will give you $1 if you'll take that axe and say, "Here's Johnny."
Nice presentation, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Hi, that's a tough act to follow. I am Valerie DeWar. I'm with Who's Your Family Eye Care. And I first wanted to say, in a moment of some humor, thank you very much for those of us who have yet to take advantage of Heather White's Bright Life services. I appreciate the mics all being clear, and I could hear everything tonight, because that's not always been the case. But as a chamber board member, I have been keeping abreast of what goes on in our town more than I was able to the first few decades of our time in practice. And I have to say, some people feel that their town deteriorates or degrades when they're small towns. I am so excited about ours, not just because of Envision Ellettsville, but because of many of the fine people who are in this room right now. And I have to say, I'm going to be very sad to see Mike go. As church trustee, I turned to Mike for a lot of advice for our church, and he even rescued me when I tried to burn the parsonage down. And I appreciate that. But I think we're losing a huge asset for our town. And I know he didn't make this decision lightly, but I'm going to miss him. The main reason that I wanted to talk to you tonight is because we've been in practice here now my husband's in practice for 45 years in Ellettsville. That seems impossible to me, but it's true. And obviously, with no longer using Clairol, you can tell that my hair is natural color, and we're nearing the end probably of where we will be in our practice. We had some major decisions to try to decide what do we do, because our practice must be attractive to be sellable, and what makes it attractive is the town. And with the Envision Ellettsville, the fine town board we have now, the wonderful law enforcement I can count on, and Mike Farmer, I have to say, we are excited that as we near the last few years of our practice time, we are definitely attractive to new medical care. And I think that's important for the community, and for us, it's a legacy that we hope to leave. So again, while I should have probably been up here with Envision Ellettsville, but you moved faster than I did, I just want to say I think that we're on the right track with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment, privilege of the floor? Okay, seeing none, moving on to supervisor comments.
Mike, you should go first tonight.
Thank you. So I wouldn't do this, but it's hard. I love the town. I really do. But there comes a time for everything. And it's time for me to exit. I want to be part of Envision Ellettsville. It's going to be difficult for me to do so for a while. However, you got to get behind it. This board's got to get behind it. I put myself out there. I created some of this because I really care for the town. I had a lot of people that came before me that I had good examples to follow. You know, a lot of the volunteer firefighters also served on the town council. A lot of the firefighters also became the president of town council. I did that. I followed those footsteps, and I had a childhood dream to be a fire chief. I've done that, and it's great, you know. So I think the fact that the Envision Ellettsville is on its feet, ready to go, it's important for a lot of things to change. Nothing can stay the same, and therefore, you know, my departure. I appreciate everything that the town has done. As I said last time, my family and I've lived all my life and been able to drive 2 to 3 minutes to go to work every day of my life so far. So that's really, really handy. So again, I chose to live in Ellettsville. I chose to live behind the fire station. I chose to live in the trailer court for a while next to the fire station on Curry Pike. So and my wife's on here. She's probably laughing or cussing me right now. So either one. So I recommend don't live behind your work. So, but I did, and I would probably do it again. So, that's all about me. I want to talk about Lieutenant Mark White for just a minute. We're losing a very valuable person for the town of Ellettsville. Last 15 years, he's worked for us. He's also became our mechanic above and beyond several times. He comes in off duty all the time to help us out. I have to force him to fill out a time card. He does it because he cares for the town as well. So the department's going to miss him in numerous ways, not just because he was a mechanic. He was also a leader. He's a Navy veteran of 7 years, served time overseas, and he knows what he's doing. And the town's in good hands when he's there. We got a lot of shoes to fill. And as you notice, we hired 4 full-time people last year. We're going to hire 3 this year. Out of our 11 full-time people, that's 7 new people. So Kevin and Chris are going to have some challenges ahead of them. So I think a lot of things I left the department in better shape, and some because the way things are in our community, and I mean this in a positive way, that's just the way it handles. I know there's plans to make things better, not just in Vision Ellettsville. I know the board has some ideas. I know they're looking forward to hearing how they're going to handle that, how you're going to handle that for the employees, and I'm looking forward to that. It's a really exciting time. So with that, again, I want to thank the town council for all the support for the fire department. I also got to thank the trustee. A lot of things would not have happened without him. So and then their advisor board. So we have to do this together and keep working on it. So we're meeting with them this week, Wednesday. We've been doing a transfer of command almost every day on something. So to make sure these guys are ready to go and move on, and rest assured, the fire department will continue in the manner that it has for many, many years, dating back to 1888. So with that, I thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Any other supervisor comments?
I'll go. It's almost budget time. So there's a couple new revenue streams we've not had before, or revenue streams that will be more than we've had before, particularly local income tax. So I'd really like for the board to interject any ideas they have for how we spend our monies in any part of our budget. I think I intend to push to any increases that we see in our revenue streams, that we utilize a lot, if not all of those funds, to retain and support our employees. And so I think it's really going to be a big deal. That retention of employees, it's become very competitive, and I think that's what I'll be pushing. And I just want to know, going forward, what you think we should be doing in our budget. We're going to miss Mike Corman. He was always an integral part of the budget process, and with him and Kevin being gone, we're all going to have to band together to put out another good budget. I think we've done a pretty good job for the last 3 or 4 years. We've made some pretty good sausage in the kitchen in there. And so we want to try to do it again this year. There's a lot of exciting things that are coming our way. There's a lot of big projects, whether it's the trail. Thank you, Denise, for being the point person on that. Or Crossroads, Denise and Kip. They've brought another few $100,000 into the community and to improve our transportation. How close are we to $1 million? A couple more years away. Yeah, but that's how important our employees are to us, and what they bring to the table makes our town a lot better. So it's budget time. I'll need the board's help and support with that. I would just say something about Mike. I've already said it before, but we love him. He's part of Ellettsville. there are town fathers always in towns that lead the way, break new ground, save our schools. I mean, there's all kinds of stories about important events where the town fathers step forward and help the town. That was Mike Corman almost every day. So I predict a resurrection of his involvement in the town sooner or later. So that gives me hope. And I know we can always call him if we need him, but he truly was a town father. He is a town father in all ways, literally and figuratively. And I mean, he's just right up underneath Maurice as one of the most important people, I think, that's ever contributed to the town. So thanks, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Mike, of course, you've always been a good friend, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but years ago you tried to recruit me to come in as police chief. Man, that was a real honor. I appreciate that. But I just want to let you know I love you. I just wish you well, and it's been such an honor to serve with you. You've been such a great example for all of us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
Well, I promise you, I won't be living behind my work. Mike, you know how I feel about you. I don't have to say it again.
All right.
Call me if you need me.
Yeah, betcha.
Well, I don't know what to say. I probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Mike.
Who taught you about that uniform anyways? Okay, you're right.
Yeah. I mentioned last time it was at a football game, and he interested me to become a volunteer there for a while. I was actually part-time, paid there for a little while, and then I kind of moved on to things. And then a couple of years ago, I come back. So that's why I'm dressed tonight, for tribute to him. I'm gonna miss him a lot. I know he's still gonna be around, but thanks for
Thank you,
everything.
I'll probably cry, but from the time I started, he's been the kindest man to help me. So thanks.
Denise, will you mention the food trucks just for a little support for the food trucks?
The food trucks couldn't start last Wednesday because of the rain. We had to cancel it. So they're starting next Wednesday, which is June 1st, I think. And I think we should have about 5, and we're trying to find entertainment, but we just can't afford to pay anybody to work. So if anybody
I got some spare time.
I volunteered, but they said they didn't have enough money to stop me from singing, so they couldn't do it.
The food trucks will be open from about 4 o'clock to 8:30 at night, and Sale Street will close at 2 o'clock and reopen about 8:30 or 9.
Thank you and everybody else involved in making that happen. It's a big thing to-
Mr. President, just one more thing. The Parks Board and the Main Street is sponsoring a memorial service again this year. We're going to pick that back up. We didn't have it for a couple of years because of COVID. It'll be 11 o'clock on Sunday the 30th. It'll be behind the library at Memorial Park. So we're planning on having that then. So
Sunday or Monday?
Monday, did I say Sunday?
Yes.
I'm sorry, yeah. Monday, yes.
All right. Council comments?
Yeah, I've got something real quick. Mike, I've only known you for 3 years, but I appreciate the guidance you've given me. Great asset to the town. You've been phenomenal to work with, and appreciate everything you've done for us.
Thank you, Trevor.
Well, I'll say it. Mike, one of the things that people are judged by is the legacy they leave. And you look around tonight in this audience and you see all those firefighters there. That is one legacy you need to be proud of, because when we're long gone from here, what's left is our memories and the integrity of the people that came behind us. And you will be definitely always spoken of highly. And you're going to be impossible to replace. But the good thing is that the bar's been raised high, and that just helps Ellettsville. And you have given the tools to the people that's replacing you. I think the greatest gift is if they exceed what you've done.
Me
And you'll
too.
be happy. Yes,
If they have to go
exactly.
beyond, so.
But we'll see. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you know how we started out.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned into, I thought, a good friendship where I could call you and say, you got
Yeah.
time for me, and we'd sit and talk, and you'd answer anything I'd ask you, and you helped me through some things, and I'm going to miss that. So I hope we stay in contact with each other.
We can.
Guess that leaves me for last.
Well, Dan's still on Zoom.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan. But you know how I feel. You and I discussed it, and I appreciate everything you've done. But the people we leave out a lot is, we've all thanked Mike, and
His family.
deserve every part of it. But to his family also. There's a lot of sacrifice that goes into being the family of a fireman. A lot of nights spent alone, a lot of very quick goodbyes, and a lot of uncertainty. So to your family, thank you as much as thank you for all the years.
Thank you, Scott.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
John LSOP. I first met Mike and became a volunteer in 1985 at the fire department when Kip and I and Mike were all together. As far as what you were talking about, as far as the memories, there's definitely memories there. I remember the first accident we all went on in the rescue truck.
He didn't cause it, did he?
They exactly know what I'm talking about. So congratulations on your retirement, and you have been a staple in this community. You've always been in this community. So again, congratulations on your retirement and everything you did for the fire department and for the town of Ellettsville.
Hang on a second. So, hang on. No, I'm serious. Now, whenever I was recovering from leukemia, I had started going to the YMCA. And it was very hard for me to get around the track. And Eric was going to the YMCA. And I didn't want to be there anymore. I was about to give up. He would just walk with me. Well, he'd run. And I would, kind of think I'm running, He'd talk like this. He'd go, well, so-and-so, so-and-so. And I'd go, yeah. No. What? You mean? He keeps on talking in full sentences, But he can't be going around that track. That was a big time for me, and he was the one to help me through all that, just like a lot of the friends did. Jim Davis went to that YMCA with me a lot, and Eric was already there, and we did it together. So with that, I appreciate that very much.
Hey, congratulations, buddy.
I just want to point something out that I just noticed. A lot of people got up here and said they used to be part-time or they used to be volunteers. I'm sorry you've had problems retaining people over the years because they've all left you on everything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, at this time, no other business before the council? Any motions? To adjourn?
So moved.
Yeah, all those in favor? Aye.